Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing top 5 exercises for your triceps and biceps. So without further ado, let's start. I'm standing because there are too many mosquitoes. So let us start with triceps. In the fifth position we have skull crushers. The skull crushers are a really great exercise. Let us talk about the pros first. The skull crushers give you the stability and support for the back. It removes the chest, shoulders and back from the equation while you do this exercise, and it's overall a really stable exercise for you to perform. But speaking about the cons are that this exercise has a lot of variations. Some instructors would tell you to do a kind of weird pullover movement and doing this. Some would tell you to do it in a JM press strict manner. Some would tell you to do it over your head. There's so many variations of the same exercise. That's why I wouldn't recommend you to do this, just because you might get really confused as a beginner. Let us move on to the fourth exercise. The fourth exercise which I have for you is dips. Yes, dips is a compound exercise. It is not a tricep specific exercise, but still dips build a lot of muscle on your triceps. It is the same for close grip bench press, but dips are an overall better exercise than that. Let us talk about the pros. The dips build that ligament and tendon strength necessary for you to do heavy isolation movements in your future. I'll explain this phenomenon to you with the help of an example. Let us take the example of a pec deck fly. So consider that you bench only 50 kgs with barbells. So you proceed to do some really heavy pec deck flies. What would happen? You would end up injuring your chest because your tendons and your nervous system aren't as used to that amount of load. If you randomly choose to do a really heavy isolation exercise, you might have that muscle strength, but the tendons aren't mature enough to handle all those stress. So if you progress on heavy compound movements first, like the dips or the bench press, and then proceed to do some heavy pec deck flies in future, like say after 5 to 6 months, you're really set. So until then, just do your heavy compound movements at the side and also do isolation movements for the first 1 year of your journey. That is something really for the advanced people. You don't need to understand all those, just follow the routine and you are good to go. And coming in the third place, we have French press. It is better than the skull crushers because your triceps stay in a fixed place like this, and you just focus on pumping out those reps. You can do it with the dumbbell, you can do it with a barbell, you can do it with an easy curl bar, and you can even do it with cables or ropes. I like to do it with both of my hands in a diamond shape and just do it with some heavy dumbbells. Speaking about the cons of this exercise, the cons are, first, if you use a heavy dumbbell, it might get really huge and might be a problem for you to lower it to your neck area. It might hit your neck back there, and also that free weights are a little bit harsh on your joints, which I'm going to be explaining to you later in this video. Let us move on to the third exercise. In the third position we have bar push downs. Any kind of straight bar, easy curl bar, or a V bar. I do not mean rope push downs when I say bar push downs. You can even bend over a little bit and do the push downs like this. Not a problem. You can do it straight too. Depends upon you how you do it. But straight bar push downs are really good when you will be able to lift more than your body weight. So at that point, you will have a really hard time managing the weight as well as keeping your body straight. So when you are in this position, your lats work to keep your arms right there. Then when you bend over a little bit to do the push down, your shoulder, your chest take over, and then your legs also play a role in stabilizing you in this position. It gets really hard when the weight you're lifting surpasses your body weight. Alright, let's reveal the winner here. The best exercise for your triceps according to me are overhead rope extensions. It is not the cable extension or the rope attachment you attach to your cable stack in the gym. It is a rope extension which I developed. I invented it personally when I was having trouble isolating my triceps at home. And this exercise is really special because it brings the best of both worlds. It is a mix between free weights and cables. So let me explain its pros, why it is special to me, why it is the best exercise ever. So what happens when I use a dumbbell? See, I have a dumbbell here and I'll turn around. So the maximum tension is in this range of motion from the start till somewhere around the parallel. This has the most amount of resistance. But when I do the end range of motion, there is hardly any resistance. From here to here, there is almost no resistance. The resistance again starts from here and maxes out at here. So, so it becomes easy for you to complete this end range of motion, and you end up lifting more than you should. And it places a lot of unnecessary stress at your elbows at the starting of the exercise, of the movement. So let us see the difference when you do it with a rope. I don't have a rope right now, but I have a charger which will do the work pretty much the same. So, so consider this as a rope and the weight is hanging from there. And when I start this exercise, the tension is even and the rope is adjusting to my to the angle of my hands. Until I do this, it remains the same. The tension remains the same, and I lower it, it is still smooth. So you lift as much as required and not more than that if you're using a rope. It is all about biomechanics and the angle of or whatever. I'm not a scientist or a science student, but I just understand some basic logic, and by that logic this is a superior exercise. Let us move on to the workouts which you've been waiting for. Speaking about the workouts, we have an introductory phase and a mass building phase. So there is a thing that if you don't have a certain amount of muscle mass in that muscle group, you won't be able to feel it while doing an isolation exercise. So follow this phase for a year to have the best results and develop your base strength necessary. I had to struggle to make them grow. So now when I look back, I should have done more compound exercises, develop the mind muscle connection, then focus on building the mass. Then we have a mass building phase. So when you have completed your introductory phase, you shift to mass building phase. And if you like this video, please do let me know by liking and subscribing and leaving a pretty comment down there for me. Till then, bye bye.